Hello, and thanks for choosing OFL Virtual. A little bit about our school. We are a WASC accredited program, which means that you can go straight from our high school curriculum right into a four-year university if that's your dream. We're also student-centered, so we're here to personalize your education to meet your needs. We have flexible scheduling due to our online format, and we also can offer you accelerated progress opportunities. At OFL Virtual, we believe that you and all of our students are capable of learning, self-improvement, and motivation, that you're capable of quality work, achieving your dreams for your future, and that you can develop a positive life plan, and that you'll flourish in our positive school environment with the instruction individualized to meet your needs. Our structure is based out of the Play-Doh learning environment, which we also call Edmentum. Next year, we'll be offering scheduled virtual classes with highly qualified teachers on Adobe Connect, and we do now and will continue to offer tutoring sessions with your subject matter teachers. We do have some expectations here at OFL Virtual. The first one is that you are logging into Edmentum. The amount of work that you do is directly correlated to the amount of time that you log in. So we do ask that students complete 1 unit per week and 6 units per school month. We ask that you log into Edmentum 4 to 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, or an average of 20 to 30 hours a week. It is necessary to log in at least this much to get your units completed. We will also send you attendance, which needs to be digitally signed as soon as you receive it. We have a couple of different types of meetings that you are expected to attend, and all are considered mandatory. So you'll have meetings with your academic mentor at least once a week. There also may be times that you're scheduled for tutoring. Tutoring is always mandatory when it has been scheduled for you or with you, so please make sure you attend those appointments. And if you qualify for any services from our support providers, those meetings are always mandatory as well. It is expected that you will communicate with us. Because we are an online school, it's really important to keep communication open. But just know that your teachers are only available from 8:30 to 4:30, Monday through Friday, for that communication. If you need something and you contact us outside of those hours, just know we'll get back to you as soon as we're back in. Consequences for not meeting these expectations are a truancy, which can ultimately lead to withdrawal from the program. A student is considered truant if they fail to complete 100% of a month's assignment, which means that you fail to complete at least 6 units of work. A failure to verify your attendance, so if you don't sign your attendance or you don't complete enough work, that counts against your attendance as well. So that's another reason you may get a truancy. And then if you've missed multiple appointments with your instructor, which would be anything under that meeting attendance expectation, without any kind of valid reason, those are considered an unexcused absence and can work towards earning you a truancy. So let's talk a little bit about Play-Doh or Edmentum. So what is it? It's your online courseware. It contains your lecture, your activities, all of your work is done through it. There's also a progress tracker so you can see how far you're moving throughout a unit or a course, and a communication center so that you can contact your teachers when necessary. How do you complete work? You complete work through the use of tutorials, mastery tests, lesson activities, which are done usually within the tutorial, or for your assessment, unit activities or post-tests. But let's go ahead and actually take a look at what Edmentum has to offer. All right. So when you go to Edmentum, this is what it's going to look like. This is the login page, and it'll have some information on, when their system might be down and closed. But let's go ahead and log in. So your account login is always going to be OLVS, and then you'll put in your username and your password, which were sent to you, and then go ahead and log in. Once you're logged in, you'll be brought to the home screen. The home screen is going to contain all classes you are actively working on, as well as alerts and a toolbar up on top. The classes that you're actively working on will appear here. If you have not started yet, which is the case for you, you'll see new next to the title of the class. From here, you can go to select a new activity. So let's take a look at an English class. And then this will take you into that course. The first thing that you'll notice is that all classes are broken down into 5 separate units, and everything under this unit header must be completed for the unit to be considered complete, and all 5 units must be completed for the course to be considered complete, unless you came in with some transfer credits. So units are made up of different bubbles here, and each different bubble must be completed for the unit to be considered complete. They're all broken down into 3 basic things. All units consist of a discussion, a set of activities, and some kind of assessment. In this case, the assessment is a unit activity, but other assessments might be tests. In English classes, you'll also notice that there are Cornell notes, which there is another video that will explain to you how to complete this assignment if you do not know how. Then we also have what I call modules, and modules are made up of 2 parts. They're made up of a tutorial and a mastery test. The tutorial is kind of like what you'd get out of a classroom. It's going to be all of the information that you need, as well as some activities, which will lead you to be able to complete the mastery test, which is usually just a 5-question quiz for you to answer related to the tutorial that you just went through. So let's take a look at what a tutorial looks like. When you open some of the tutorials, they start playing a little video right away. So we're going to go ahead and pause that. And then we can go ahead and just continue through. So you'll navigate.
You as a student?
We'll get to this in a second.
In this lesson, you will recognize what is expected.
So, this is what it's like when you first open a tutorial. You'll notice that it immediately started reading to you and playing through it, and then you saw me turn it off. But I'll go through and explain that in a minute. So this is how you can navigate on your own pace through the tutorials. It's just with the buttons up at the top, until you finally get to some actual class information. So this specific tutorial is called Who Are You as a Student? And it's going to go through 42 different slides of different information. Over here on the left-hand side, you'll notice you have a table of contents. So right now I can click back to the introduction or back to academic identity where I am, but I can't click forward because this hasn't been completed yet. Once I have completed a tutorial, you can go back and click through any of the sections if you need to review some information. There's also a notes category. This is super useful for classes that don't require notes as an assignment because you are allowed to use notes on all of your tests, so I highly recommend taking them. Any resources that are linked or talked about throughout the tutorial will be included in the resources folder. There's also a dictionary. So if you don't know the meaning of a word, let's see. Let's say you don't know the meaning of the word study. So you can look that word up, and it'll give you several definitions and even give you an audio sample. So what I did earlier was I turned off the slide narration, but feel free to toggle that on or off as it's necessary for you. There's also a translator, so you can translate English words into many different languages. And then there's a highlighting tool. So you can select a certain amount of text, and you can choose a highlighter color for it, or you can opt to remove the highlights. So those are the features available in the toolbar on the left-hand side. And as you continue to go through, you'll see that just information continues. And if you are taking notes, you'll want to take really quality ones because you're able to use them on your mastery tests and any final unit tests. And then ultimately, you may be stopped by some questions. So here you'd have to enter in information. If you try and click submit, you must enter an answer. So please do always complete the work in the tutorial. Some values. I'm going to be able to skip through this just because of the type of account that I have. Then you can usually see some sort of sample answer that'll give you an idea of how you should have completed that question. And then we can continue on. Finally, you might come to a lesson activity. So this is going to ask you to complete this activity based off of certain criteria up at the top. So here, we're going to separate these two things, and then down at the bottom, there's a self-evaluation. Please make sure that you always complete these, and in some cases, like in our class, you can print them and actually convert this file and save it as a PDF. But there's another video on that if you need some information. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel. So let's say I've done enough work for today. I've been working for my 4 to 6 hours. And this is where I'm going to stop. So you always want to make sure you click on Save and Exit, which will take you back to your class. Now something you will notice is that this circle went from being empty like all the others to half full. That's because we have started an activity within this module, but we have not completed both parts, so that's going to be half full, and because we didn't complete the tutorial, it's half full. You need to make sure all of the circles are filled up for the unit to be complete. So that's basically what it looks like when you go into a class. Let's look at some other options up at your top bar, which includes All My Work. Once you begin working on classes, you'll be able to access them just a different way through All My Work in here. So you can just see all the different things that are assigned to you and your progress in them. Then we can go into the Messages Center, where you'll see on your left-hand side will be any messages that you have received, and on your right-hand side, you'll see a button for a new message. This will allow you to contact any of your teachers. So anyone whose class you're enrolled in, you'll be able to contact here. You won't be able to contact other students. If you do take notes in any of your classes that don't require them for credit, in the notes section that's available in all of your tutorials, they will appear here, and then you'll have the option to print them out, which I recommend since you won't have access to them any other way. So that's the basic tour of Edmentum and how to use it. There are some requirements to graduate. So the first one is that you need to earn 220 high school credits, complete at least 3 years of math, and then complete 10 hours of community service. Because we are WASC accredited, we also meet the A through G course requirements, which are required if you are intending on going to a 4-year university directly out of high school. A little more about the 10 hours of community service. So you must complete your community service with a nonprofit organization. It must be done on a voluntary or unpaid basis, and it must not be required for any other reasons, and you should do it while you're in 11th or 12th grade. We do participate in standardized testing. The first one that you'll take is likely the Star Renaissance test, which is a school-wide test evaluating your proficiency in math and English. Then we have the Smarter Balanced test, which replaced the California High School Exit Exam and California State Testing. We have the Presidential Fitness test, which is a state test that measures your physical fitness and is an in-person meeting, as well as the Smarter Balanced. SALT is another test that will be administered in person, and it is the California English Language Development Test. So if your primary language is not English, you may need to be SALT tested. And we also offer the Practice SAT test in the fall. In addition to weekends, which are Saturday and Sunday, student holidays are not counted as school days, and you are not required to work on those days. However, please know that our school is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you are free to work on any holidays that you would like to. Just note that your teachers won't be available during holidays or holiday breaks, and we are only available 8:30 to 4:30 on weekdays. So you might be asking yourself, how can I be successful at OFL Virtual? Well, the first one is to have a dream. If you have a dream, we can help you stick to it and make sure that you're achieving your goals. You should also develop a study schedule and work 4 to 6 hours a week, 4 to 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, and identify study methods that work for you. Log into Edmentum at least 5 days a week, preferably Monday through Friday if you want some help, and make sure you're completing 1 to 2 units a week to get your 6 units per month in. And make sure that we can get a hold of you. Always keep us up to date with your email and phone number. Take breaks while you're working. You don't need to work 4 to 6 hours straight. Get up, stretch, eat, walk around. If You need to set small goals for yourself and always ask for help if you need it. Your teachers aren't going to see you in person, so it's important that you reach out to us if you need assistance and be specific about what you need help with. And then just regularly communicate with your teachers. It's an expectation that we have of you, and we do ask that you are regularly checking your email throughout the day. So what happens next? You need to get to work. You have your login information already, and you're obviously logged into the system, so you need to complete your first unit within the first week. All students are enrolled in this orientation course, and your assigned academic mentor will schedule you an appointment and to go over your transcripts and goals after you've completed this orientation. You should also set up your future meeting times with your academic mentor during this period. Then, if you haven't done so already, make sure that your school email is set up. The instructions were included with your welcome letter. I hope you found this orientation informative, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask your academic mentor.